'Cause I'm still breathing. 'Cause I'm still breathing on my own.
As I mentioned earlier, it's the 12th album since you debuted in 1990 with that EP collection 39 Smooth. I suppose that every album or every series of albums stands for a certain period of your career. So what would you say does Revolution Radio stand for?
Like in what way?
Yeah, I mean, there were the first, let's say, 2 records, and then you had Dookie, and then with Dookie, somehow a new step in your career happened, and then there was a series of records, and then you reinvented yourself with American Idiot somehow, with the continuation of 21st Century Breakdown, and then there was the trilogy, which is somehow another step, and now you're somehow going back to the vibe that American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown shared.
I think if you look at the scope of our career, you can draw a line from any one of our records to another record, from a certain songs on 39 Smooth all the way to Revolution Radio or American Idiot or Insomniac, whatever. I think that this period, Revolution Radio to me stands for kind of like I guess freedom for us, you know, a little liberated, and that's it, rock and roll.
It sounds liberated, and it sounds somehow joyful and hopeful, and it's nice that when you hear the record that there's so many points and so many references of what happened in Green Day before, culminating in that record, and that's what I find really enjoyable about the record. Do you see similar?
I think it's an accumulation of being in a band for 30 years and making records for 30 years. It's for me, I think I'm at a point in my life where I stopped trying to make any kind of sense of anything. It's sort of this continuing journal that's been going on for since I was 16 years old. Like I said, this is our high school band that we've been in for 30 years. There's great things. The great thing is there are things about us that has never changed. The sad thing about it is there's things about us that's never changed. So it's I can't make any sense of it anymore. It's like I decided I was a bit crazy about 10 years ago, and there's not a whole hell of a lot I can do about it. So I just tried to just document my craziness and see what happens after that.
So the cover of the record, which is, it's quite a nice and simple cover. It doesn't even show your band's name, which is somehow brave. Surely there's a sticker on it that says, "Well, it's a new Green Day record." Is it your comment on home taping is killing music?
I think it's just a strong visual image of sort of the annihilation of the way we listen to music as kids and where we're at now. But it's kind of celebratory at the same time. And honestly, like any chance to burn shit up and like make a mess and melt plastic and stuff, we're all about it.
So who had the idea of burning up a ghetto blaster?
Frank
Maddox, art director.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a photograph, actually. That's one shot. Yeah.
And it is embroidered, you say?
Embossed.
What?
Embossed.
Embossed.
When it kind of bumpy.
Yeah. What would you say? In how far does radio still revolutionize anything these days? Isn't it rather a disadvantage when something is called radio friendly?
I like to think of it as radio-friendly fire. I don't know. It's like radio has gone in so many different directions, whether it's file sharing or Spotify or iTunes radio or Pandora or what they call terrestrial radio or satellite radio.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, pirate radio. I mean, this is just our. I think it's just more of like a declaration. I don't think it's really literal, but we have a lot of people that come to our shows that are feel like weirdos or freaks or for us it's just like, come if you want to get away from if you don't feel like you're part of normal society, come to you're accepted at a Green Day show, whether you're gay or straight or trans or black, white, brown, whatever, whoever, or you're just lost. So I think that's an anthem for Revolution Radio is an anthem for like-minded people like us.
So, if you say this, it touches political ground, and with the American Idiot, you recorded an explicitly political record. Would you say that Revolution Radio is somehow a continuation in this?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I think it's like if it's like a journal. I mean, it's more like a journal and not really a manifesto.
Yeah.
Manifestos are kind of revolting anyway. So it's it touches on different politics with like Black Lives Matter or the culture of mass shootings in America so it's more like how, taking snapshots of what's going on in the world and in America, and
I mean,
right now there's a lot going on.
America's on the verge of a scary paradigm shift. I mean, that's would you say that political punk rock is more important now than it has ever been before?
I think what's going to end up happening is you have a whole generation of kids that have been maybe playing punk and have not been political at all. Maybe it's because they've grown up with Obama as the president. So he was, if anything else, was a really decent human being. So but now you have I can't think of anyone that could be the more opposite. And he ran his campaign. He made a point to run as the opposite in character and personality. So there's going to be a lot to be angry about.
So would you say this is the chance for lots of good counterculture products coming up in the next couple of years?
Well, I think art in general is going to take a shift. I mean, either people are going to want to be more isolated, and move to a commune and paint big pictures of flowers and grass and cows and stuff like that, or they're going to be sticking their fists up, standing against fascism. So,
I mean, I've heard that you've been a supporter for Bernie Sanders, which is a reasonable thing to do. What happened now must be a huge disappointment for you all, probably. So how do you work with that now?
Well, it's such a huge disappointment that we weren't prepared for a Trump. I don't think anybody was, and I think the backlash has already started with all the demonstrations and protests that are happening in the streets. So we're just trying to. It hasn't been even a week yet. So I think the way that he ran his campaign was the ugliest campaign in my lifetime. I've never seen something so divisive and ugly in my life. So I think just starting that, if that's his contribution so far, you're going to see a lot of resistance.
Yeah. But I would be scared shitless that it'll be awful in the coming years. And
we are scared shitless, and rightfully so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great sentence to end this interview. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your first camera interview.
Revolution Radio, Operation control.